Welcome back to the channel. I am Racky Ryan. Today I'm going to be talking about SPACs. I recently went long on 3 different SPACs. I'm going to be talking about what they are, why I went long on them, as well as showing you my watch list for SPACs that are about to have their pre-unit splits. So if you're into SPACs, this is probably a lot of information that you'd be interested in. Stick around, I got you. It's time to dive on in. Here is my list. These are the SPACs that I just recently went long on. If you're not familiar with what a SPAC is, I have a video in the description of what is a SPAC. So here we have FPAC. The team is Thomas Farley. It's his second SPAC team and he's targeting fintech. So one of the SPACs that I already have that's in the fintech space is BFT. It's Bill Foley. He has acquired PaySafe. I got in a few months ago. I like fintech as a space, so I want to continue to find other SPACs that are in the fintech space. This is one that's targeting fintech, and I recently went long on FPAC. Next we have TWCT. It is the former CEO of GoDaddy. His first SPAC is up 300%, and it is also the founding partners of KKR, which is a large financial firm. They are targeting tech. I think that the combination of the financial guys mixed with the CEO of GoDaddy targeting tech could be a huge win. He had a huge win on his first SPAC, so I went long on TWCT. The other SPAC that I recently went long on is LFTR. It is the former CEO of E-Trade, the former COO of Coinbase, and the former COO of TD Ameritrade. That is a slam dunk for a management team. They are targeting what other than fintech. That is also what I'm interested in. So I went long on LFTR. These are my 3 SPACs that I just recently went long on. Now we have all the SPACs that are about to have a pre-unit split. So what that essentially means is when a SPAC goes public, they sell warrants and they also sell shares. And so the units have to split into common shares and then the warrants split off as well. So I'm not a warrant investor. And if you are, good for you. More power to you, and you can leave a comment telling me why you're a warrant investor and why I should be or whatever, but I'm not, and so I'm waiting for these to split. Oh, and by the way, so I have here the size of the deal, the team, the price that it's at as of now roughly, and what they're targeting. I'm not going to go and just read it all to you. You can see it for yourself. And so we have one here that I'm really interested in. It's DCRN, and they're targeting global decarbonization. I really also like STPC. They're targeting sustainability, including clean energy and power. The other one I really like a lot is CLIM. They're targeting carbon avoidance and sustainability. And I also like CPUH. They're targeting computational AI. So I really like computational AI. And then I really like, all these different decarbonization stocks. And clearly I also really like fintech, considering I just went long on 2 different SPACs that are targeting fintech. So I'll let you take a look at this, or you can just pause it on your screen, but I'm going to continue. So next I have more here that I'm looking at and I'm interested in. So I have companies that are targeting technology and consumer disruptors. And then one that I really like a lot is HCIC. Basically a really good team here, former president of Solar City, former CEO of GE, and they're targeting rare earth company like battery composition. So the reason why this is interesting and important is because if you do research right now on what are the ingredients that are made into an EV company, right? Or into an EV, excuse me. It's going to be like a lot of cobalt, nickel, lithium, all these different ingredients, but they're not necessarily all in the same place. You have a lot of different ingredients in China, in Russia, in the Congo, in Africa. You have lithium in the United States. You have these ingredients all over the world. So in order for the world to get to the point where we have this infrastructure for electric vehicles, it's going to be a really large, just logistical challenge in order to pull this off. And I think that's why Elon had his recent battery day, and he mentioned that he's looking for alternatives to battery technology. And then you can see that the former president of Solar City here, which was acquired by Tesla, he is now looking at having a SPAC, and he's looking for rare earth minerals. So I'm really interested in HCIC. Their pre-unit split is estimated early March. So I'm going to wait till basically around then, see what it's trading at, see if there's any new information. I have all these other specs here. These basically I need to do more information on. I'm also interested in fintech, like I've mentioned. So we have MOTV, which is targeting fintech. It is the JP Morgan digital currency team. That seems interesting. So I'm definitely keeping my eye on that. Need to do some more review, and I'm probably going to pass on these. But if you are looking at any of these and I'm wrong and maybe I shouldn't pass on them, please leave a comment below. I do own Bill Foley SPAC with BFT. I also own WPF, which just merged with a Light, which is a cloud HR company. Bill Foley to me is going to do really well, but he's starting to spread himself thin. So I don't know if I'm going to necessarily be involved in TREB. It could be though that watch this be the SPAC of all the fintechs I fade, and then they go out and they bring Coinbase public. That'd be bad luck. Again, if you think that I'm making a mistake by passing on that, leave a comment below. I'd really appreciate it. I hope you found this information be useful today. If you liked this video, please hit the like button as well as subscribe. This is the end of the Racky Ryan deep dive on SPACs. Hope you guys have a good day. Thank you for stopping by. All right, bye.